Hey, everybody, it's Ed. All right, so I know you've seen this picture a million times if you watch my channel, but we have Elvis right there in the middle, and then to the right, we have my mom and my dad. And through the miraculous thing of video, and we have my father right here, live in the flesh. All right,
How's everybody doing?
all right, wishes you well. Of course, you can't answer him at this moment, but if you would like, you can leave him a comment and let him know how you are doing. All right, the purpose of this video, Dad, back in 1972, April 5th, if you remember, you and Mom went to Buffalo.
Correct.
And if I recall, that is the very first time that you had the pleasure and the privilege of going to see Elvis Presley live in concert. Is that a true story?
That is so true.
Okay, so April 5th, 1972, Buffalo. Very first time you see Elvis. What is your fondest memory that you can let people know of that event?
Well, first of all, it was a happening, number one. Number two, I always said to myself and my mother, which is Ed's grandmother, in 1956, when I seen Elvis on a 10-inch Crosley television on the Dorsey Brothers, I said, this kid's going to make it and I'm going to meet him one day. And that was my goal in life. I followed Elvis from all those times from 56 up until he died. Memphis numerous times when he was alive. But 72, when he walked on that stage, I can remember it clearly. I went berserk because I have never in my life seen a guy so perfect, so handsome, so beautiful, with the charisma, and he had it all. That I can tell you. He wore a powder blue suit and he looked phenomenal. We were at the hotel at the Hilton where he was staying, and I asked the colonel, I said to Colonel Parker, Colonel, do you have any you have any intentions of Elvis coming to New York, Madison Square Garden? And exactly the colonel said, no, we have no intentions. Now, mind you, this is April 5th. That's when I met the colonel that day. Now, that was April 5th. Then I believe it was April, May, 4 to 5 weeks later, my friend calls me up, Mike Menudo, and he says to me, Richie, get the New York Times. There's a big article in there. He's coming to the Garden. So anyway, we go to the Garden. I get the Times. I have it. Don't miss it. And there's 3 pictures of Elvis and playing Madison Square Garden June 9th and June 10th. So we get there, and I figured we're going to be right up there to get the tickets. But I found out there was a lot of people before me that had the same idea. So we stayed in the city. We finally got our tickets. And I didn't care where I sat as long as I had the tickets and I was breathing the same air. And then we leave. We go home. And then my sister-in-law calls and says, on the news, by popular demand, they sold out the 3 shows, Friday night, Saturday afternoon, Saturday night. They put the 4th show which would be the 11th of June of 72. We had to go back to New York and get the tickets. And that's what we did. And the rest is history. I did all 4 shows there. I did all the shows at the Coliseum. I went to Philly. I went to Vegas. I went to Providence. We've been all over. New Haven, numerous times.
Vegas, of course.
Vegas, numerous times. Hartford, Connecticut. We did a lot of touring,
Right.
my wife and I, and my kids. I took my Edward with us, New Haven. So here we are, 45 years later.
45, over 50 years later. Well, 50 years. All right.
Well, 45 years that
let-
Elvis is gone.
Let's reel this back in though for where we're going. So
Yeah.
now 1972, we have those concerts after April 5th
Right.
that starting on April 9th that were being filmed, and there were 4 concerts recorded and filmed, and stuff that was spliced from that became the movie called Elvis on Tour. So again, that was 1972. Now here we are. Well, now it's 2023, but 2022, it was announced that Sony Legacy was going to release this box set that
Yeah.
was going to have these 4 concerts, a couple of CDs of rehearsals, and the Blu-ray/DVD of the movie Elvis on Tour.
Correct.
All right, and do you remember your thoughts when you heard that this was going to be released?
Well, we were all over the place that day. We were in the hotel. I was talking to those 2 producers. I can't remember. I don't know how to pronounce their names.
Ernst?
No,
Not
Ernest
Ernst.
wasn't there at that point in time. Ernst was there after I met Ernst in New York when Eddie Bonja came to the house
Right.
when they had an
Right,
auction.
when they had the auction.
But anyway, getting back to 72, April 5th, in the hotel, they were all over filming, and at the arena, they were filming. I seen them there, and I was talking to them, and they were filming. So somewhere's on the cutting room floor, there's got to be footage.
All right. Well, regardless of
all
that, but that's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is when you heard that this 50th anniversary set was coming out, this set.
Yeah.
What do you have any? What were your thoughts?
Well, I was hoping that they'd put it all together with all the footage. That's what I was hoping for.
All right.
But
So
it-
like all
but as
of the
usual,
film footage, like the stuff you said,
yeah,
even from April
they
5th.
haven't done that,
right.
and I don't know what the problem is why they don't do it. Listen, I'd like to have all the rehearsal stuff. I'd like to have all the stuff Elvis walking in and out of a building, walking out of a room.
Right.
I mean, they could put that all together in a montage, and everybody can enjoy it.
All right.
Listen.
So here we are, 50 plus years after the fact now, because this was supposed to be released, I think, initially in November of 2022. And it got pushed to December, I believe. And now, finally, the end of January 2023, we have. Da-da-da. There it is.
Yeah.
So 50 years later, Dad, 50 years after the fact, this is what we got.
Yep.
Right? And here it is. You're holding it in your hands.
Well,
As an OG, as an original fan from back in the day, being
Right.
there
Right.
from almost day one. I mean, granted, you didn't live in the South, you weren't in Memphis, Tennessee, you didn't know about the Sun Records, you didn't find out about Elvis until after RCA signed him. But so you're not an
No, I had. That's all right, Mama. I had that on a Sun.
You did.
I did.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know if I have it anymore.
No,
God
you
only
certainly
knows.
don't.
Probably not, because we used to
I
play
know.
frisbees.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
who
You,
took care
you
of?
traded them. Yep.
Right,
Well,
right.
that's why they're worth money now.
Yeah.
Because right, very few people did cherish them or take care of them or whatever. All right, but it is what it is.
Do I think they did a good job? I'm going to be very honest with you. From my experience with Elvis, everything was the Colonel, always leaving wanting him more. They would never, ever, ever do the right thing. They would just do it half-ass.
Sure.
That's what they would do. They never did it. They have all this footage, but yet they don't want to put it out. What are they waiting for?
Right.
When I'm dead?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And let's face it, I'm the one that's the diehard that's been around from day one.
That's what I'm saying.
And, when are they going to do this?
Right.
When are they going to give this out?
You just celebrated your birthday. You want to tell everybody how old you
80
are?
years old.
There you go. There you go.
So here we are, in 2023. They did it.
All right.
But they didn't do what they should have done and made it all, and at least did the Buffalo show.
Sure.
From that start of that tour. Now, another thing is that they did the full version, which I understand was videotaped, and they sold it. They sold it. Somebody's got it. Either the estates got it,
right,
or a private investor's got it.
Right.
But
somebody's got it.
Somebody's got it. And my friend Perry told me that it sold for like $375,000. Now look, that's astronomical, and there are people out there that might have a lot of money, and they can spend that kind of money. I can't spend that kind of money.
Nope.
If I had it, I would, but I don't have it.
Nah,
so
even if I had it, I wouldn't.
Why don't they take that and put it out, and let the fans, the people that loved Elvis, enjoy that footage?
Right.
I'm sure they could put it out there and pay the estate to sell it and do something with it, instead of just putting it in a vault and keeping it there.
Right.
Listen, I learned something in life. Money is no good unless you can spend it and get something for it. To hoard it ain't good.
Right.
Trust me.
All right. Very good.
This is the way they do things. And according to people's sources, say that Ted Turner owns that now. So who knows?
No idea.
I don't know.
All right. So, and you got to hear some of the rehearsals before we started this.
Yeah, I did. I like some of that stuff.
All right. This is your first time looking at the box, though.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, any pictures in here?
Well, there's a book. There's the things that house the CDs fold out that have pictures in them.
This was the book,
and
right?
That's the book, correct. The book that does not have Ronnie Tutt's name in it.
Okay, so these are pictures that my friend Ed Bonja took.
A lot of them, yes.
Yeah. Yep.
A lot of them, correct.
Yep. So
I didn't even look to see if Ed's name was credited in
probably
there. No,
not.
I don't think it isn't, because I think they credit it through Tunzi now, or whoever has those pictures,
Joe Tunzi
yeah,
was, Ed and Joe used to do some transactions back in the day.
Sure.
But he took advantage of Ed.
All right. Well, you don't know that for sure. Allegedly.
I do know that. Because
allegedly.
Ed said that to me.
Allegedly.
So, all right, allegedly. But I'm just telling you what I know.
Right.
And
right. Allegedly.
There was a lot of pictures that were gone that Ed gave to him. And,
right.
So that I could tell you.
Yeah.
But anyway, what else do you want?
Nothing. I mean, again, just to get your thoughts on what you're seeing. Again, to reiterate that here it is. It's over 50 years later, and this is what we're seeing. And do you feel that what you have in your hands and what you've heard so far is worth the wait of 50 years?
No.
Okay. No. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
That did not take long at all.
No. Because we have this stuff. They've been just rehashing everything. They're smart the way they do business.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're rehashing in the sense that they haven't released all of this stuff. They had it in that close-up CD box. They had one of the concerts. Oops. Sorry about that, everybody. They had one of the concerts in a previous box set, and maybe one or two others released other ways, but not really officially released, if you will, through RCA or Sony Legacy. But there have been bootlegs, of these concerts. The guy who does the mixing, Matt Ross Spang, he does a really, really nice job. And I think he does great work, and the discs, in my opinion, sound very good. I did my review, but it didn't grab me. It's I don't know.
Well, I met Dick Baxter when Eddie and I were in New York back when Eddie came, when they had that big auction.
And who's Dick Baxter?
He was the sound engineer for the Elvis Madison Square Garden. I met him at RCA in New York.
Okay.
And Eddie had the disc or the tape of the
12th
12th
of
of
Never.
Never.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was going to sell that at auction among some other things.
Well, he tried
right.
to,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. That's a whole other
according
story.
to Ernst told Eddie that it would be better that they sold it to him.
Right.
He gave him $10,000 for that.
Yep. Flat.
For that tape of the 12th to Never. And then what they did is I got that tape and sent it to me with no music, just Elvis doing a cappella. And then they had it redone where they put music to it, and it was great.
Sure.
And then of course in one of the sets they put it out in one of the box sets, and I don't remember which box set, but it was on it, and I remember that. There was a lot of stuff, and he had some film that he got from Tom Diskin back in the early days. Tom Diskin was Ed Bonge's uncle,
right,
and he was the second man in command.
Yep.
For the Colonel.
Yeah, Diskin was in the movie.
Yeah,
the character.
Yes.
Diskin.
Tom Diskin. Yeah. Yes.
All right. So, and based on what you've listened to so far, you've heard some of the rehearsals. All right, and you think from what you've heard, and it sounded pretty good, though?
Yeah, I like the rehearsals. I like when Elvis could talk and interject with what he thought of the music, and with the musicians going back and forth with them. That's pretty cool stuff.
Right. Okay.
Don't forget he's not here no more.
I know.
So,
yeah, that's what you get.
Yeah, and it's the memories.
Sure.
It's the memories. And we snuck in. Mike and I snuck into the room at the Hilton when he was doing For the Good Times,
right,
and Burning Love.
Right.
So we were escorted out of there.
Right.
We got caught, but
And do you remember who escorted you out?
Yeah, it was Red, Sonny, Schilling, Lamar, and it was those 3-4 guys that were Dick Robb, I think, was one of them.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll tell you what. Let's end it here. You'll get to listen to it, and then hopefully we'll get to come back and talk to you about what your thoughts are on some of these concerts and what you're hearing.
Okay.
All right.
That sounds like a plan.
All right. Very good.
Good.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. Have any comments? Leave them. And good to yourselves. Good to each other. Any last words?
Well, just keep Elvis alive. That's basically what it's all about,
That's it.
I never seen anybody in my life that had the charisma or the looks or anything. Even at the end,
Yep.
when he was puffy and sick, he could sing like there was no tomorrow.
Right.
Nobody could ever hold a candle to him.
Nope. All right, what do we say? What do we say around here?
King of rock and roll, baby.
King of rock and roll.
Hasta la vista. Pa' fuela.